if you need to, if you can. All right. So I'll do it. Now, the issue with mine is I'm having trouble zeroing mine out, which I don't really know why. It might be kind of messed up, but most of them you can actually zero out where this arm kind of sits right at the zero. You see that? Okay. So ideally you want to start here. Mine's not going to work great, so I'm just going to have to use this part. So whatever object you're trying to measure, let's say I want to measure the mass of the bell. Okay. You put that onto the pan. It's called the pan. Okay. Now the arm should jump up. Okay, because now I have more mass over here than over here. Does that make sense? All right. You start by using your biggest slider first. So this is the 100 slider. Okay. I'm going to move it over one notch at a time. There's 100. That might have been 200. Where's one? Right about there. There's 100. Okay. There's 200. Now, 200 is too much. So I'm going to go back to 100. That's not enough, right? But 200 is too much. So it's somewhere between 100 and 200. Okay, next you go to the 10. I'll slide my 10s over. Maybe. What about 20? Too much? All right, so now I'm going to go back. We are going to do this on your own in the lab, so I don't know what we're doing up here. Okay? All right, so there's the 10. That's 10 or 20? No, that's 20. There's the 10. Okay, so 10's not enough, but 20 is too much. I'm going to say back to the 10. Now I'm going to go to the 1. You keep sliding this guy over until it balances. You gotta let it balance first. Is it too much?
No, it's about. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, good. Looking good.
It's good. It's perfect.
All right. So we'll say it's okay. We'll say that's the measurement. Okay. So now that I have my pans equal, right? I have this over here. It's right in the middle. Now I leave my sliders and add them up. So I had 100, 10, and then this is going to be 8.7, basically. 8.7. So I have 100 plus 10 plus 8.7. Okay, here's the issue. All right? Because you're going to do some of your homework, and you're going to do some of your own too. This is what a lot of kids do. A lot of my students make this mistake. They say they add these up, and they say, okay, there's 7, 9, and a 1. So 19.7. Or they'll do this and not have the decimal. 197. That's not it either. You have to remember that when you're adding these three, you have to line up your decimals. Okay? So technically this is 100.0. This is 10.0. Then I put my 8.7 here. Now I add them up. So I have 7, 8, 1, and 1. So my total mass is 118.7. What? I have to have a unit. Miles, feet, inches, milliliters. Patty? Grams. You have to have a unit. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's practice. You can have a seat. Have a seat. So let's read this triple beam balance measuring together. Okay? You read your 10s, read your 100s, and read your 1s. Start with the 100s. Hold on, we're almost done. What is this reading at right here? Someone raise your hand, tell me. Connor?
300.
300. Okay? So I have 300 here. What about this one? Jasmine?
10.
10. What about this one? Now, let me tell you, be careful with this one. It's in between 0 and 1. Okay? So I need to figure out exactly where it is. There's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, dashes between 0 and 1. That means that each individual line is 1/10. So the first line is going to be 0.1. The second line would be 0.2. The third line is going to be what? Okay. Hannah? 0.3. So my last measuring there is 0.3. So if I add these up, my total grams should be 310.3 grams. Make sense? Question?
It looks like a 4 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, 4 is right here. Look. That's the 4 dash.
Oh.
Right here. Okay? Nicholas?
It kind of looks like it says G and not grams.
Well, G is the abbreviation for
I
grams.
know, but I'm thinking kind of like it's
Okay. All right. Now, before I give you your homework, let me kind of go through it with you so you know what we're talking about here. Okay? Now, for your homework, your job is to measure the mass of these objects. Okay? Now, technically the mass has already been measured for you. Your job is to read the balance measurement. Okay? It says mass is how much matter is in an object. A balance is what measures mass. Technically, this is a triple beam balance. Triple beam balances and pan balances both measure mass. Record the mass shown in grams. So, you look at the first one. Okay. What is the reading for, let's start with the hundreds. What's the reading here? Parker? 200 what? Okay, 200 grams. 200. What about this one? Dudley? 80 grams. What about this one? Be careful. Trinity? 4.1 grams. Good. Okay? Then you would add these up to equal what? What's the total mass? Caleb? Very, very good. 284.1 grams. So you would write that in the box over here. Make sense? Then you would go on and complete the rest. The only other part of your homework that we did not learn through the notes is measuring volume. Okay? It says volume is how much space the matter takes up. Volume can be measured with many different tools, including a graduated cylinder. I'll show you a graduated cylinder tomorrow, but it's those long, tall, skinny, like pitcher-looking things. Okay? Perfect. To read a graduated cylinder, place it on a flat surface and read the liquid at eye level. It is very important to read the liquid level at the bottom of the curve or the meniscus. Let me explain what that is. Okay. In the graduated cylinder, the liquid in the actual tube, the molecules of the liquid that are close to the sides of it like the sides, and they like to try and bond to the sides of it. They're attracted to it. Okay? Which creates this curve shape. You see that? Okay? That's called a meniscus. It's called a meniscus. This literally happens. Next time you have a clear glass of water at home, get at eye level with the surface of the liquid and look at it. It does have a bend, a curve. Okay? Now, when you read the measurement, it's extremely important that you do not read it at the top of the curve. If you do that, in this case, you'll read this at 60 milliliters. That's wrong. You have to read it at the bottom of the curve. So, here. Okay? What is the reading for that measurement what is the reading for that liquid? Patty? 55. Very good. 55 milliliters. Measure volume in milliliters. Okay? Let's look at this one down here. What about this one? Again, make sure you're reading it at the bottom of the curve, not at the top. Landon, what's that one? Good. Why is it not 85 like the last one? Very good. Look, here's 80, here's 90. Okay? The dashes here represent a 0.1, while the dashes up here represented a 5, because this was 30, 40, and then that's going to be 35. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so be careful. This would be 89. Be careful with your readings there. The last part, it will give you a measurement. Your job is to draw the reading. Okay, so this is 140 milliliters. Here's my 100. Here's the 200. Okay, so this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's halfway between 100 and 200? Reagan?
It should be 40.
What's halfway between 100 and 200?
What do you mean? Exactly.
What would this reading be? It's halfway between 100 and 200. What number is halfway between 100 and 200? What's the halfway point between these two? Connor, help him out. 150. That's the halfway point, right? See what I'm saying?
Oh, sorry. For some reason, I thought it was counting like 20.
No, not
That
yet.
is not working out.
Okay. So this would be 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200. Okay. To draw my measurement at 140, the bottom of the curve has to be at 140. So it would look like that. Make sense? All right. You are going to complete this. We are going to grade this in class tomorrow. Just so you know. Okay? All right. Once I give it to you, you can put your name on the front. Then you can start. You've got about 5 minutes or so until we have